Hello there, my name is Prince Boy, and I'm here to explain about the economy of the United Republic of Tanzania. To anyone unfamiliar with the United Republic of Tanzania, this is a country located in the eastern region of Africa, which is bordered by Mozambique, Malawi, Zambia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, and Kenya. Some of the cities in Tanzania are Dar es Salaam, Dodoma, and Arusha. Some of the spectacular or unique things about Tanzania is the beautiful place of Zanzibar and the highest mountain in Africa known as Mount Kilimanjaro. Tanzania is comprised of 31 regions and 12 cities. The 12 cities including Dar es Salaam, Mbeya, Kigoma, Zanzibar, Mwanza, Arusha, Dodoma, Tanga, Morogoro, Iringa, Lindi, and Singida. Some of the unions that Tanzania is involved with is the AU, and the East African Community. The AU standing for the African Union, and the East African Community is usually the EAC. Or the coat of arms is one of the symbols that represent what Tanzania usually loves and what they usually abide to. For example, gender equality represented by man and woman, and some of the symbols about Tanzania represented in this coat of arms. I can't say all of them right now due to time. Maybe you could research them on your own. And to anyone wondering, yes, Tanzania used to be a socialist nation, but became capitalists due to people not loving the system of socialism. The business world in Tanzania is growing very rapidly, but not so rapidly for the people behind it. Yes, Tanzania is looking like it's growing, but for the people who are at the bottom, they don't really seem to be experiencing that growth since prices are still rising and stuff like that. Because of the corruption and also because of some of the few problems that Tanzania has to go through. One of the problems with Tanzania was that it had to enter into a lot of debt since that coming right out of the socialist door after the USSR fell, it was very hard for Tanzania to get back on its feet, so it had to get a lot of debts. Even though we were able to start paying them one by one, it really had to it really had to depend on those small people at the bottom since Tanzania is more of like an agricultural nation than a business nation since it has no money whatsoever. The economy of Tanzania is usually run by the Tanzanian shilling, as you can see at the picture. And since Tanzania now is capitalists, we are usually like trying to find ways into trying to adapt into the business system, even though our economy is very largely dependent on agriculture. One of the things that I advise Tanzania to do is to start embracing industrialism and starting to do business with other nations. Dar es Salaam is a city located at the eastern region of Tanzania by the coast. It's bordered by easy nation. It has a population to up to millions of people living in there. It has great infrastructure buildings there. Dar es Salaam is more of like the city that is usually holding together the the country of Tanzania, since because of its ports is usually where the goods come from, and since most of the industries were established in Dar es Salaam, most of the raw materials also come from there, and most of the trade is also done in Dar es Salaam due to the fact that the port of Tanzania, most of the things usually go through Dar es Salaam. The population also has a lot to do with Dar es Salaam since that a lot of the people and the population that usually come there to do business and trade, and since now a lot of people end up doing trade in Dar es Salaam, the government usually gains revenue from them. Another thing that really develops Dar es Salaam is the tourist sites and the spectacular seaside shores and the luxury hotels, bringing also tourism money to Dar es Salaam. Next, we come to the beautiful city of Zanzibar, located by the Unguja Island. To those who are wondering, yes, Zanzibar used to be a country, but united with Tanganyika to be the United Republic of Tanzania. Zanzibar is usually known for its tourist attractions because of the very nice seas, seaside shores and the very good historical sites located by it. And also Zanzibar, having very nice and good fertile lands, can lead to the growth or agriculture of spice materials, which can bring a lot of money from spice agriculture. to the people of Zanzibar, developing the Zanzibar city and also the islands of Pemba and Unguja, making Zanzibar also a very large city. The Zanzibar city was formed to show Tanzania, the Zanzibar town was actually formed to to show the people of Zanzibar that Tanzania was actually just meant to be a unification for the African people. No one is bigger, no one is better, everyone is the same. Another reason why Zanzibar joined Tanganyika to form Zanzibar is because that Zanzibar had a bit of control over the Indian Ocean, but also couldn't fend for itself, while Tanganyika didn't have control, but could fend for itself. So they united. Next, we come to one of the fastest growing cities in Tanzania, known as Dodoma. Dodoma being the now capital of Tanzania, obviously would be one of the most fastest growing cities. And it was made the capital because that Dar es Salaam was like too full or jam packed to have the parliament of Tanzania in there anymore. They wanted to also put it in Arusha, but also Arusha looked like it was developing fast, so they put it here in Dodoma. Dodoma doesn't really have a very huge significance in economics, but most of the things when it comes to Dodoma in economy is most likely the cashew nut agriculture farming, livestock farming, and due to some of the cultural significance that it has to Tanzania, we lead to a bit of tourism that brings a bit of tourist money to the city of Dodoma. But Dodoma has most of a political significance. Dodoma usually is the center of almost of every political thing that happens in Tanzania. Some of the political aspects happen in Dar es Salaam, yes, but most of them happen in Dodoma since Dar es Salaam is already filled with business and economical things. So now they usually really have to move a lot of things about politics into the Dodoma region. Next, we come to the fastest growing city in Tanzania, known as Arusha. This is a city bordered to Kenya and also is very close to the mountain of Mount Kilimanjaro. Most of the money Arusha gains is through tourism, since they have a lot of culture there. The Maasai stay there, the Chaga and Pare stay there, and also Mount Kilimanjaro is there. So culture, Arusha. Then next is more of like the international trades that Arusha usually deal with, because since we all know that Tanzania and Kenya have very good relations, Arusha is usually like that gateway to go through in order for you to get to Kenya. Like you want to go to Kenya, go through Arusha, then Namanga, to go to Kenya, and then for Kenya also they have to pass through Arusha in order to enter Tanzania. Since a lot of people like to find those routes, they usually stay in somewhere like Arusha. And as I also said, bordered by Kilimanjaro, Manyara, Shinyanga, it is very close to one of the highest growing cities like Dodoma and Dar es Salaam, making it very easy for them to receive the goods and raw materials that they need to develop their city. Most of the goods they usually go through Dar es Salaam, Pwani, Tanga, Kilimanjaro, then Arusha, and Dodoma it just takes one trip through Manyara and that's it. One of the challenges facing the economy of Tanzania is the education system. Even though Tanzania has brought up a very free education system, the problem now comes into like how this education is being given out, like which area, which location, how is the conditions, and second of all, which kind of education. Because Tanzania's education isn't really one for entrepreneurs. Second of all is the transport system of Tanzania. The people of Tanzania face very bad problems due to the transport system because it is very unreliable, and also like the accidents that happen in the transport system are very frequent. Like for example, the Tazara is looking very unsafe, and the Tanzanian roads accumulate to up to 10% of the death rates in Tanzania, making transportation very unreliable to the people. Another problem is the sanitary system. There are so many poor people and people who cannot be able to like afford for water that they decide to even take rainwater or water just found in the ground in order to be able to do their domestic activities like raise their cows or drink water and stuff like that, making it very hard for people to like get their water or to basically to live sanitary lives. It's becoming a very huge problem for Tanzanians due to their poor state. Tanzania, when it comes to foreign relations, usually it doesn't like to indulge that much into military foreign relations. But when we usually come to politics, maybe it has a bit of Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi, and soon to be DRC Congo. Um, Also, its foreign relations is very high because that countries like Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, and Zambia depend on Tanzania to bring the goods since they're on landlocked while Dar es Salaam has a port. Since Tanzania used to be a colony of the United Kingdom, the United Kingdom created something known as the Commonwealth, and when Tanzania decided to try to join, they were accepted. Even though used to be a social party, the United Kingdom and Tanzania still hold very close and good relations. Since Tanzania was a socialist nation by that time, it became very good allies with China. And also due to the fact that a lot of goods from China usually come into Tanzania because of its cheap prices, China looked like a very reliable partner with Tanzania since first of all, at its current state looks like it's not going to add up its prices anytime soon. And also looks like it's starting to bring very good relations to Tanzania, even according to the military system. What does the future of Tanzania hold? Well, the best thing for Tanzania to do up to now is to improve its transport system. I like the way that Tanzania is making its own SGR that runs on electricity, but also they have to deal with its roads to first of all make it safer, and second of all to make it more like reliable and further so that they could be able to reach to other parts of Tanzania. Like seriously, how does a country only have two flyovers? That is kind of sad. And second of all, to deal with its industrial system because yes, they want to keep the culture, but you're going to have to make the raw materials yourself if you want to keep on developing. And second of all, you start doing trade. Even though Tanzania wants to keep like a self-reliant state, doing trade doesn't mean you're in neocolonialism. Doing trade just means getting something from someone and getting money in return, developing yourself. And thanks to anyone watching this video, I hope you guys found it very intriguing and nice. Don't forget to subscribe